Hello, hello, hello. My dog's making nice chewing noises. I'm hoping that she finishes that treat very shortly. How are you all doing? How is life today? Let me know when you are on. I'll just change that angle a little bit. Hello, everybody. Let me know when you're on. Hi, Danger. How are you? Hello, Sarah Evans. There's somebody on YouTube. Who is that? Let me know. My necklaces are all tangled. I'm just having a little wiggle with them before we... That's my dog. Wiggle with them before we start. Hello, Sazzy Go Girl. Who's that? Hello, hello. Ooh, you got the #1 viewer badge. Thank you very much. We are going to be finishing our bookbinding workshop today. Just to recap, hello, Dunno. How are you doing? Just to recap, we have learned how to do bookbinding. So we've split it into a 2-part. There's my dog in the background. We split it into a 2-part workshop because there was just so much to teach to finish our lovely books. So this is a completed one. This is one where I left it all open so you could see what the insides look like. And today we are going to put this together. So please let me know when you're here, if you are joining and you've got your crafting ready. If you haven't received a Curious Octopus box this month and you'd like to get involved next month, I send out a new craft kit every month and I teach you how to make the craft of the month live in a live online workshop, which is what this is. So if you're new to us and you would like to learn a new craft every month, these necklaces are driving me mad. Come on. Please do join us. We would love to have you. So next month we are learning how to do tie-dye. So I'm going to show you how to do tie-dye. Hi, Libby. How you doing? Yes, we are going to learn how to do tie-dye. So that's going to be a really fun one. A lot of people have said, oh, I haven't done that for years. And I bought the most beautiful, really, really good, high quality dye. And you're going to have loads of extra so you can basically go wild with your tie-dye. And it's going to be lovely. Thank you for the rose. So if you are ready for the bookbinding, give me a thumbs up. Let me know you're there. Send me a little message. Let me know what you've been up to. If you're not doing the box, but you want to join and just do some crafting or just watch, then you're very welcome to do that as well. Let me know what you're doing that's creative or positive today. I always love to know. I've had a lovely little chat with chat recently. Art Danger's ready. Thank you very much. I think it's learning me. It's learning that I do try and make this business. Well, I obviously try and put as much time and effort into it as I possibly can. However, sometimes it's hard for me to know when to stop because there's so much to do. And it was really funny because I was trying to work out a good, almost like a motto. I know I ask people what you're doing that's creative or positive, but I try and ask people, I wanted to get a bit of a motto into this, so for people to be able to let go and accept that there are flaws and mistakes in life and in crafting. And the whole point of crafting is that you're making something handmade that only you could make. And I loved the fact that every single box is sent out with exactly the same ingredients in it. But what you make, because you are the magic ingredient, what you make out of that, all of your boxes will make something completely different. And the beauty is that it is in the imperfections. We can use AI, we can use robots, we can do all these things and create these cookie cutter pieces of art. But what we're doing here is imperfect, and that is the most perfect and wonderful thing about it, surely, I think. But then it kind of circles back to me as well, and gives me the permission to not be perfect in everything that I'm trying to do here, because I think I put a lot of pressure on myself, to be honest. Box ingredients. You relate to the last stream. Do you talk about the additional items? What additional items? You shouldn't need any additional items. You should have everything you need in your box. Oh, sorry, your additional. Yeah. I just put them in for packing, to be honest. I did buy them to do a project with them and for Curious Octopus, and they were just sat in my storage room. And I thought, why not? Why not just send them out so you guys can do whatever you want with them? To be honest, they are for your enjoyment. I was going to do something. What you can do loads of stuff with those. You can paper mache them. You can decoupage them. You can get sequins, single sequins, and pin them in. You can get little pins and just stick sequins to them with pins, which is really lovely. You can make them into these lovely glitter, basically like a little disco ball. So yeah, whatever you want to do with them. Right, are we ready? Is everybody here that needs to be here? It's probably not going to take that long because we've done the majority of what we wanted. Stitching. So the stitching was, I taught every stitching. I've just realized as well my internet is not great. It's being upgraded very shortly. So I think the video was a little bit grainy, and so it wasn't super clear how to do the stitching. So I have put an additional video online that teaches you your kettle stitch and your saddle stitch, and hopefully you've all caught up and you have yourselves a book that looks like this, and it's all stitched together. Now mine has writing on it. I don't know if you can see that. It's too bright, isn't it? Should I turn this brightness down a little bit so you can, so it's not so reflective? Is that better? Mine says signature 10 because in my description video, I'd numbered the dots and numbered the signatures just to make it more clear. So yours won't say this, but mine does. Mine is not completely perfect. They don't line up perfectly. But isn't that great? It looks handmade. When I first gave the first one I built to my friend and said, look, I've made a book. She was like, okay. I flipped through it and she was like, there's nothing in it. And I said, yeah, because I made the book. I didn't get it printed. I made the book. So it's got to look handmade. And that's my excuse. but I stand by that. Right. So we've got hopefully you have got your pages with your 10 signatures, and it will be perfectly imperfect. So what we're going to do first is stick on our end pages with our gluing. Now we're pretty much just going to glue everything together now. What we don't want is too much glue used, because what will happen is our paper will warp and it will go a little bit, well, like this one. Can you see that? It goes a little bit wobbly. Again, it's fine if it does. It doesn't matter. It will look handmade. But we're going to try and avoid that by trying not to add too much glue to the paper. So I'm going to get my greaseproof paper that you had in your box. You don't have to use this. This is just to help with the gluing process. And what I'm going to do here, hang on, I think. What I'm going to do here is do just a, oh, hang on. We are going to glue our mesh to these papers to stick it all together, okay? Hang on. Yes, just thinking of the order. Right. So first we're going to start with our end papers. You've got 2 purple end papers. Oops. And what we're going to do is just add a tiny bit of glue, not too much. We don't want this glue to saturate the paper. Again, we're going to stick it to one of the pages. Try not to make the glue fold over, get underneath. So you're just going to try and get it down one side. The best thing I've found is just lifting it up so you're not doing it against the paper, because then it doesn't tend to go over the edges. It goes up to the edges, but not over the edges. So what we're going to do is try and stick a little bit of glue right to the edge all the way around, but we're not going to cover this whole piece of paper. Ideally, you do it so that the glue is see-through and not white. If it's white, it's probably a little bit too much. So scrape it on and scrape it off. Around 4 edges of one side of the outside. If you can see that that's open there, we're going to do the outside of one of these pieces. Okay. Is everybody doing okay? Also, if you've got your heavy books, you're going to need your heavy books this evening as well. Just around the edges. And it dries quite quickly, this glue, so just get your just the right amount on there. And as soon as you're done with it, we're going to line it up on our paper. So it's going to be like another page. So if I sit them this way, so it'll be like that. We're going to stick that page to the end page, okay? So I'm going to sit this down and I'm going to line it up as tight as I can to my last page, okay? Here we go, and we stick it down. You can just use your fingers to stick it down. Push down, and then we're going to do the same thing on the other end. So turn it over, give it some weight, and then we're going to do the same thing on the other end paper. Try to just do a little bit of glue. Don't go crazy with it. You don't want those end pages to look wobbly and wet. Gone over the edge a little bit, so just be a bit careful when, if you do, to lift it up so that the glue doesn't go on the inside of the pages, because we are going to stick this down with our heavy books and we don't want those inside pages to stick together like I've just done. Right. Again, sometimes it's easier to lift up that inner page so you can line up those corners, line up the outside corners. Should be able to have a bit of wiggle room. And if those outside corners match up and that line matches up, then it should match up all the way down the sides and across the bottom. Right, once you've stuck that, we need to stick our heavy books on it for a minute. Okay, just put that slightly out of sight. Now this is where it gets a little bit messy. Again, if you have something to wipe your hands off with after, that might be handy. So we're going to get our mesh, our 2 mesh pieces. And what we're going to do when that's been sat there for a couple of minutes, just to make sure that we've got pressure and all of it has been stuck down. It's only going to be a minute or two. I'm just going to describe what we're going to do in this little bit. These bits of muslin are just a bit of extra strength on the spine. Okay, they are used, 1, to add our ribbon to help, get our pages, and 2, just to add some extra strength to the spine, because obviously we've sewn those pages, but it'd be quite easy to just rip out one of the pages. So what we want to do is just add a little bit of glue to give it a little bit of extra strength. Right, if you want to bring your thingy out, double check that there's no sticking, and it will still be a little bit wet, but what we're going to do is add each layer to it, and then we're going to stick it under our pages overnight, and in the morning our books will be done. So when we've done our purple pages, we will start with our main bit of mesh, and what we're going to do is we're going to glue this over the end so that it sticks down a little bit down the side of the the end papers, but also it attaches slightly just to the spine and the stitching. We're not going to use loads of glue here. Again, we just want it to be stuck a little bit just to give it a bit of strength. We don't want it to stop the pages opening. So if you're going to be dribbling glue down your stitches, it's going to make it really difficult to open each page. But what we want is just a little bit of strength. This is why I've purposely not given you too much glue, because I didn't want you to go too nuts with it and to make it all really tough with glue. So this bit will be slightly messy. What I would recommend doing is covering your muslin with a bit of glue. Again, the same type of thing. We don't want it to be saturated. We just want it to be a little bit wet. It is going to come through this material though. So if you hold it and scrape glue over it just until it's all covered. It's easier to scrape it from the inside out. Just try not to get it all over your fingers because that's when it gets super messy. Just go from the inside out. It'll start to stick to the paper a little bit, so it makes it easier to attach the glue. And we're going to do the same for that little bit of muslin you've got there as well. Okay, now get rid of any excess. It doesn't need to be saturated. And a little bit more on this one, on the little part. Again, from the inside out. Is everybody okay? Everybody seems quiet today. Right. So, oh, hello, Trisha. Have you just joined or have you been there for a little bit? I hope you're okay. Have you seen to stick the end papers on? I hope everybody is fine and is up to speed. Right. I'm going to move this out of the way a little bit so we can get to this and not get stickiness everywhere. I'm going to stand this up and start with the bigger piece. I'll peel it off the backing paper. Make sure it doesn't fold over itself. Can be a bit tricky to do. I mean, if it does fold over itself, you can unstick it. And we're just going to, I'll do it, start from that side. Doesn't have to be perfect. Stick it over there, down the spine, and over the other edge. And then what we're going to do is close the book. You can use your fingers if you want, but try not to get too messy, or use your glue dabber to try and stick it. Sometimes it needs a little bit of slack. Stick it down so that it just touches the pages. You can kind of stab it in a little bit. It doesn't have to be attached to every single one. We're just trying to make it make contact a little bit with some of the pages. Okay. And then push it down onto the backing pages and try and smooth out any creases. If it has got creases, you can lift it up, pull it tight, and then put it back down again. Okay, so we want that to be as flat to our paper as possible. Again, we do not want too much glue on here, okay? We've got, and I'm going to turn it round, pull it tight so that we don't have any creases, and push that down. It doesn't have to be completely stuck fast. It's just to give it a little bit of extra strength on the spine. Okay, once that is just giving it a little bit of strength there. Okay. It might need to lift up a little bit because it's not quite touching. So spend a little bit of time making sure that's all flat. Okay, now with the other piece, this is what we're going to do for our ribbon so that we can keep our page. We're going to get the small piece of muslin, peel that off our greaseproof paper and stick it on the end. So basically what we're going to do is half this. So we'll stick the top bit so that it's nearly in line with the top of the page. Don't worry about it overlapping the second piece of muslin. We're going to line it up with the top piece of the page, and we're just going to sit it there for a second. Okay, so the end of it is at the top or the bottom. It doesn't matter which one. We're going to line it up, but don't stick it down yet. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take our ribbon, and about an inch of this ribbon we're going to glue on both sides. Stick some glue on both sides. You can be a little bit more generous with the glue on this part. And then with this, make sure the line of this is slightly below the edge, so maybe a ½ centimetre below, okay? Then we're going to stick our ribbon on to the top of that, but make sure all the glued part is, again, half a centimetre or so further down. I hope you can see this. So what we have now is our main part of muslin. We have our the smaller piece of muslin lying just about ½ a centimetre down. And then we've got our ribbon, and we're going to fold this smaller piece of muslin back over. So what we're going to do is sandwich the end of the ribbon into this muslin so that it's got a really good stick with glue and material, okay? So I'm going to fold this over up to where the other piece to the other edges, and then we're going to stick all that down. Just make sure everything is touching. Okay. Can you see that? So I've got my extra piece of muslin folded over the top. And then what I'm going to do is just get a little bit more glue and stick all of that down. But again, I don't want to go nuts with the glue. I just want to stick it down, especially on the side. So then we can stick this. That's too much glue. Stick this down on both sides with a little bit of glue. Is everybody following? Is everybody okay? And then with the end, we can now put a little bit more glue on the end just to make sure that material is stuck down, but we don't want it seeping through too much, okay? Just a tiny bit extra, just to give it a little bit more strength if you feel like it needs it. If it looks like it's pretty stuck, then you're all good. So what you should be left with is your main bit of muslin stuck to the spine and both sides. That's funny angle. And both sides. You've got your small piece of muslin, and that is put up to nearly to the edge. We've laid it on gently. We've glued our ribbon on both sides. We've folded the small piece of muslin back over, and then we've glued it all down. Okay, and as you can see, it is starting to warp the paper a little bit. So what we need to do is be reasonably quick now at this point, because what we're going to do now is stick this to our backing. So again, what you can do if you want to is kind of open it up, but you need to be very careful not to stick it down too much. Right. Again, you're going to have this little bit of glue that is going to stick the majority of this. What we're going to do is put glue on our paper and really try not to go too nuts with it. We don't want this paper to be too warped. Okay, so just a little bit of glue all the way around the outside. You can lift this paper up. so that it doesn't stick to the paper underneath. It needs to be slightly more glue on this time, but not too much that it's going to squidge out the edges, but it is going to have to stick to that leatherette. So all the way around. I have loved learning bookbinding. I don't know why. It feels like it's a slightly different craft than what we've normally learned. Do you know what I mean? It's almost more like a occupation rather than a craft. But yeah, I hope you guys have really enjoyed it. I've had good feedback so far. I haven't actually been checking the comments, so if anyone needs to say anything, then please do so now and I'll have a look. Sorry, I'm really terrible. Trisha, are you having some issues with your connection? Because it keeps saying that you joined. I hope everything's okay and that you can see this and follow along. Right, we are getting to the stage where we can put it all together. It's very exciting. I really hope that you guys let me know what you do with your journals, well, with your books. Will you use it as a journal? Will you give it away as a gift? What are you going to use? What are you going to do? Right, that bit of muslin was sticking up and was not lying flat, so I'm just pulling it up a bit and gluing it back down flat. Don't want lumps, thank you very much. So any of the bits of muslin that you think might need a little bit of extra glue, because this muslin is going to be what helps to stick it to the backing as well. So a little bit more if you feel like it needs it, but don't go too mad. We don't want it to be too wet, but just give it a little bit more if you feel like it needs it. Right, and then we are nearly ready to stick it to our backing. That corner is being a poo. Just sit down flat, please. Thank you. Right. Now we're going to get our backing. Ooh, there's a little bit of a lump of something there. Okay. Are we ready to stick? Okay, what I'm going to do is, because we want the spine to also stick to this spine. So I'm going to, sorry, I keep moving it around. I'm going to put this, try and stick it as evenly as I can, because obviously it's quite hard to get it lined up. Right, now I'm going to go that way, sorry. I'm changing my mind. I'm going to go this way so that I can see. The best way to do this actually is this line at the top needs to line up with this line here. Don't line from the outside, line from the inside. So the top of the corner of the spine needs to line up to the corner of the outer page. So we're going to line that up. It should fit perfectly. Make sure that your ribbon is out of the way. Just line it very carefully first before you push it down. Obviously, we can't really, this is why we leave a little bit in the middle as well, so you can push it down in the middle. We're then going to connect the spine as much as we can, and it should, because of that extra bit of space we've left between the backing, it should give us exactly the right amount of space so that the corners can fold right over. So once you've put it down very gently, you can now open it up just a little bit. You don't want to pull it too hard. Start from the inside and push towards the outside so that you're getting rid of any air bubbles. If it's not perfectly aligned, don't worry. This is your imperfect, perfect book. Push it down, get rid of any air bubbles. That looks pretty good to me. And then I'm going to open up the other side so you can see where it's not stuck perfectly. So I'm going to push from the outside. Be careful not to rip your paper. Push down. Get rid of the air bubbles. Oh, it's looking glorious. Thanks for all the likes, Jemima. Right, let's get rid of all those air bubbles. Push, push, push. Make sure it's attached right to the edges. Give it a push down. Then we also need to make sure that the end is pushed down as well. So give that a really good push down from the inside and the outside if you can. Right. Don't be tempted now to open this and start flicking through pages. We need it to stick. We need it to be really, really secure and stick. Okay, so what we're going to do now is make sure, again, this is stuck right down. And the other page is stuck right down to the edges. And what we're going to do now is put our books under a very heavy book or a very heavy few books and leave it until the morning. And hopefully in the morning, we'll have these beautiful books, and they are a little bit stiff at first. Don't worry, but what we're trying to do is make sure it's not too stiff. With the glue, if you see what I mean. So I'm going to put mine now under my heavy books. If you have something to wedge up against, if you have another book, right, what I'm going to do is put mine that way. And then if you've got another book that you can kind of wedge up against that edge so that you've got weight bearing down on all the pages and then weight pushing in on the spine, we're going to leave that until the morning and our books are done. So thank you very much. Let me know how you found that. I know it's been a very quick second session. I normally go on way longer than this, don't I? But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed your bookbinding. You should have a book. I actually forgot to put the ribbon in this one, but you should have a book. I haven't stuck this one in either. That looks a little bit like this when you're done. So please post, let me know how you got on. Let me know if you had any issues. Let me know the bits that you loved. Please post a picture of your book. Let me know what you're doing with it. Are you gifting it? Are you using it as a journal? I mean, January is the perfect time to start journaling. If you've never done it before, I would highly recommend it. It is absolutely brilliant. 3 pages every day in the morning. In theory, I love this. I did it for a good year or so. I'm not doing it at the moment, but I really want to get back into it. So maybe this will be my kick up the bum to start my journaling again. Anyway, thank you. Oh, Trisha, you're not giving it away. I know it was a lot of work, wasn't it? But thank you so much for sticking with it. Thank you so much for, it is a tricky craft, but you've done it. and I'm really, really proud of you all. So thank you so much. I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of us all. And we now know how to do a simplified version of, well, it's not even that simple really, was it? It was quite a complex version of bookbinding. So thank you. Thanks, Trisha. I'm really glad you enjoyed it. If you haven't already given me a follow, please do. Please keep in touch. Any feedback, good or bad, I really, really appreciate it. I'm doing everything I can to make this business as lovely and wholesome and educational as possible, but also with a real big kind of dollop of mindfulness and, you know, help for mental health, because I just believe so much that doing something creative is really, really good for you. So thank you very much. If you make another one, please let me know as well. And I'd love to see you next month for tie-dye. You need to order your boxes before the end of the month. If you're on a subscription, then brilliant. Your boxes will be coming to you at the beginning of February. And I have got so many really cool crafts coming up this year. So thank you very much for being a part of this. And I'm going to stop waffling now. Thank you very much. Oh, my New Year's intention is to take more time for myself and be creative. Oh, it does fit perfectly. I'm so glad. I'm so happy. Thank you. And that to be honest, I've been a creative. I'm waffling again. Sorry. I've been a creative person all my life, but I, especially through times of stress, did not make time for myself and for creativity. And so that is the reason why I don't send instructions out in these boxes, because I know that I have tons of craft kits here that people have bought for me or I've bought for myself that I never get around to doing. I do not prioritize the time, and I want to help people to be able to prioritize the time. And that's why we do the live. And I know that life gets in the way, and I know that people, you know, have boxes piling up and they don't manage to make the live. But I really, really do try and get people to put that time aside. The dates are all set for the whole of the year now. I'll post them actually. So put the dates in your diary and have that sacred time for yourself. Like, tell everybody in your house, I'm not available on those dates because I am just doing something for myself. So that was the plan. That was why I've done a live. I could send out craft boxes and, you know, with instructions, but there are many craft subscription companies like that. And I just wanted that edge of, yeah, but I wouldn't do it. How can I make people do it? Not make people, but, you know, encourage people to put the time aside. Anyway, I'm going to stop waffling. Thank you very much for joining. I'd love to see you again soon. Please keep in touch, comment, and, you know, do all the things, because I just love seeing what people have made. Anyway, thanks, Trisha. Anyway, I hope you all have a lovely evening, and I will see you again in February. Can't remember the date. Is it the 11th? I'll let you know. If you're on the mailing list, you'll get all the information. Anyway, have a great rest of your evening, and I'll see you soon. Bye. Bye.